Hello and welcome to Econ 221 at Delta College. My name is Ed Durbin, and I wanted to just walk through one I wanted you to see the face associated with the course. It's always better to do that with all these classes. But at any rate, this is Econ 221 at Delta Community College, and my name is Ed Durbin. I've been teaching at Delta for about 11 years, I guess now, maybe 12, 11 and a half years. Anyways, I've been here a long time at Delta. I've been teaching a lot online, and I've also taught in the classroom face-to-face. But anyway, I have a master's degree in economics from the University of Detroit Mercy, an MBA, and I've been in the classroom a lot, so I know what you're going through, and I know the issues that students generally have with economics in general. It's not an easy subject. It's not an easy discipline. But the truth of the matter is that I think that what you'll find is that you'll enjoy this class, and I know you've heard this in other classes as well. But the beauty of economics is that this is a part of the social science curriculum, and that's hence the reason why it's under the social science division. This is not a business course. Economics, to kind of encapsulate it, to bring it down to its simplest level, economics is a study of scarcity. You'll read through the syllabus, and that's pretty much the way the course description begins, is that economics is a study of scarcity. It's not a study of business. And scarcity, what scarcity means, it's pretty straightforward. Our wants are basically unlimited, and our wants, meaning, we want as much money as we possibly can get our hands on, and then some. But the truth of the matter is there's a scarcity of money, currency, if you will. And we'll be getting into all those, the various definitions of money and so on and so forth much later in the course. But in the beginning of this course, we'll be starting with, they're basically micro issues that we'll be talking about. We'll get into the issues of supply and demand. Supply addresses scarcity in particular. It's the reason why, just a quick lesson. The supply curve starts down low to the left, closer to the y-axis or the origin, and it moves upward to the right. So it's got a positive slope upward to the right. And what that reflects is there are two things. One is that as the price goes up, there's more that's supplied, more quantity supplied is what the technical term would be. But in addition to that, it also reflects the condition of scarcity. Scarcity in terms of it becomes more expensive the further up the supply curve you go. So there's two things at play. One is the price goes up, which encourages more production, encouraging more quantity supplied, but it also indicates that there's scarcity in play. Meaning, for example, if you're just a real quick example of this would be agriculture. The U.S. is a major supplier of agricultural products to the world in terms of corn and wheat and so on and so forth. But we have our limits as well. Limits meaning the available agricultural, the land that's fit for the production, fit for growing those cereals and grains and so on and so forth, these agricultural products. So that's reflected in the supply curve. Arable land, I guess, is the term we would use, that could support, again, wheat, corn, and whatever crops that we're talking about. So anyways, that's the bit on supply. This course, macro, begins, of course, with some basic ideas, again, on supply and demand. And after that, when we start getting into moving forward in the course, we'll be getting into the macro ideas. And the difference between macroeconomics and microeconomics, what it really boils down to is that macro, we're looking at three different components, components that we're focusing on in the economy. One would be, the macro components that we would be looking at. One would be employment. That would be employment, unemployment, looking at the various characteristics therein. Second would be It's not presented this, in this order, but this is what it includes. Second would be price levels, which would include inflation and deflation and those general ideas, again, associated with price level changes. The third would be economic growth, and that would include, we generally look at it in terms of gross domestic product, GDP. And that's the measurement of how the economy is growing. And we hear about these things in the news. You may or may not be paying close attention to it, but you hear about these things in the news periodically. So anyway, I want you to go through the syllabus and to review the syllabus. This is a very fast course. It's only 7 weeks in length. So just bear that in mind. You have to keep up on the material. And in general, the class goes from Monday through Monday at 12 a.m. Through the following Sunday at 11:59. But oftentimes, again, pay very close attention to the actual dates in the syllabus, because depending upon the term, we may be starting earlier. We may be starting, odd times, and typically the last week it's shorter than the previous. And anyway, again, go through the syllabus, hang in there, and you'll do fine in the course. And feel free to contact me via email, or you can call me. My number is included in the syllabus. It's my cell number, so if I don't answer, you can leave a message. I would prefer that you don't text. I generally don't do the texting part of my cell phone. I know I'm old. Anyway, hang in there with the course, and it's going to go fine. Okay. Thanks for taking the class, and enjoy.